Hey guys, Dave from Wolfhard Hobbying here, and welcome back to another Tuesday Talk. This week we're going to get a little personal, as Joe left a comment on last week's video wanting to know my experience with stripping. Now, again, this is kind of a little personal, but I don't really have the body for it, nor am I good dancing. I'm not a good dancer at all. So, I don't have a lot of experience stripping. But, it's, again, kind of a personal question. But, no. To get in all seriousness, about stripping models, I used to strip my models actually quite a bit. That's how, it's one thing I love about the metal models. I hate putting them together. Some of them, like the old GW metals, I hated putting those together. But the one thing I loved about them is that they were easy to strip and clean off. So when I wanted to try new techniques, a different color, an altogether different color scheme, seeing how something works, I used to have 2 or 3 tester models for my Space Marines, and I'd paint them up how I'd kind of quickly on how I would paint the army, and just to get the colors down and see what looked nice and what didn't, and then I just throw them in something and strip them, and then repeat the process over and over again. I've stopped doing that as much. I don't strip as many models now, as I tend to have the colors that I want down. Now I'm just adding to my armies instead of creating new ones. The last time I stripped a model, I want to start a Raven Guard army. So I had some leftover Space Marines from a small chapter I had started that was going to be based off the Imperial Fists. But I decided to go Raven Guard instead because I kind of like their lore, a little bit more of their fluff, and just the color scheme is fairly simple, black armor with the red. But I was going to do mine a little differently with blue shoulder pads or something like that. Anyways, so I stripped models that way. Now, just to answer Joe's comment, I believe he said you use a 3 to 1 mixture of water and Greenworks. I have never tried that before. If it works for you, that's awesome. Now, I don't really know your kind of setup. The best stripper I have found so far is brake fluid. Now, it is toxic. It's this is for everybody. If you have like little kids, animals, if you don't have a safe place to store that, then I suggest you don't use brake fluid. See, with me, I have a garage, so I can dump brake fluid into a container, drop my minis in there, let them sit. I let them sit for probably a day or two, and then scrub them, see what comes off, and if I need to, set them back in the brake fluid. Now, if you're going the brake fluid route, do not, and this is a big, do not use brake fluid to strip your resin models. I did this by accident. I didn't research what it would do to the resin. It doesn't. It destroys the resin, but what happens is, I had used some of my fine cast Space Marines, and what it did to the resin is it made it rubbery, and it stayed rubbery. So whatever the hardening agent or whatever, the brake fluid just seemed to get rid of that, and it just became rubber. So, if you want some Space Marines that you can just throw around and, bouncy Space Marines, then use brake fluid. Now, I believe the brake fluid you would use to strip would be .3, I believe. I haven't used brake fluid in a long time, so... But yeah, I find the brake fluid works excellent on metal models. It doesn't damage. It works great on the plastics as well. It doesn't damage the plastic or the metal models. But again, it's toxic. You have to dispose of it properly. You can't just dump that stuff down your sink. So you want to be careful there. Other things that I've kind of seen around the internet is Dettol, I believe, or Dettol. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's a cleaning product that I've read a lot of people, especially overseas, they don't have a lot of the same products as us. They use that a lot, and I know my Walmart here, I saw them carrying it. I don't know if that's like they carry it all the time or whatnot, but you can use that, and I don't believe you need to dilute it at all. But again, I haven't used that. So again, if you are stripping models, be very careful. Like, I would probably quickly paint up a tester model, let it dry. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy, base coat or whatever. Let it dry, and then toss it in there and see what happens. Don't do it with any of your big or expensive models right away, because you never know what could happen to these materials. One product I've used a lot, this for Joe, because I know he's in Canada, is Simple Green. Is good. You don't have to dilute it. You just put it in a container, dump your minis in there. Again, this one's it's a cleaning product, so it's safe. Just when you are ready to dump it, make sure you're running lots and lots and lots of water. Dilute it that way. It does take a little bit more time, a little bit more scrubbing, but again, it's safe. You can have it in the household. If it spills, if you've got small kids or animals or anything like that, it's not going to harm them too much. The brake fluid can cause serious harm, but Simple Green will not. Now, I can't get Simple Green up here. I used to be able to, but for some reason I can't anymore. So you could also try Purple Power. I believe you get that in the automotive section at Walmart. At least that's where I get mine. Again, just look around for it in cleaning products and things like that. Purple Power works great, just like Simple Green. Don't need to dilute it at all. Just drop your guys in there. Let them sit for a day or two. With Purple Power, I found if I let them sit for 2 days, I can get the bulk of the paint off. Then I would have to let them sit for a little bit longer. But when you are taking the paint off or scrubbing, I just go to the dollar store and buy a soft bristle toothbrush, and I use that, so that way you're not scratching your models or anything like that, and the toothbrush will get into a lot of the crevices of your models. But again, it's going to take, especially with a soft bristle toothbrush, it's going to take a couple passes to get it stripped perfectly. You can go in with things with toothpicks, or I've got some rubber sculpting tools. I kind of go in there a little bit just to give some more kind of scraping power. But you want to be careful that you're not scratching up your miniatures. Now, as far as stripping, that's basically all the kind of advice I have to give. Again, I don't really strip my models too often because I found the armies that I like, and so I'm keeping them that way. I used to strip a lot when I was changing Space Marine chapters or something like that, or creating my own chapters, and then I got bored of that color scheme, so I wanted a different color scheme. Things like that. So I've changed color schemes for a Space Marine chapter handful of times. So I used to do a lot of stripping, but now I don't do it as often just because I find it's a hassle. I get frustrated very easily with it, and especially when, depending on the type of glue you're using, some of these cleaners and stuff can destroy that adhesion and break it off. Now, if you're using a liquid cement that melts the plastic essentially together, then you really probably don't have to worry about that too much. But I've only started using that type of glue recently, as I've been using some of my older glues. But so I get frustrated very easily, and I tend to get very angry. I when I was starting to collect Eldar, once they got a codex update, again, I wanted to strip all my minis because the original Eldar I had were painted very badly, at least for my standard of what I want my army to look like. It was painted horribly. So I wanted to strip, I believe it was 20 Guardians and and a Farseer. I believe that's what it was, because I only had enough for the basic Force Org chart back in 5th edition when I started. So when I was stripping those, the arms kept breaking off. I lost some arms because they fell down the drain. That's another thing. If when you're stripping, put like you can get at least I can't remember what they're called, but anyway, it's something for your plug or your drain, and it's like kind of a grate or a mesh. That's what I was looking for. A mesh for that, so that if any of the little parts fall off, they don't go down your drain, and they'll just get caught in that little mesh, and then you can pick them up. But what happened to me is I was losing some arms. I lost some of the Eldar heads. I got frustrated. Now I was stripping the Farseer because my Farseer was metal in the brake fluid, and I was stripping all the other minis in just simple green. And I got frustrated with my Guardians because I lost so many pieces, and I didn't have any of my Eldar bits left, and so I just said forget it. I threw them out, and I went and I bought some new Guardians. It wasn't worth my time and whatever, so that's why I don't strip models anymore. Also, I found color schemes that I really like for my armies, so I'm very careful when I'm painting. But anyways, that's enough for that ramble, I guess. It's been a couple minutes now on that subject. So I hope that answers your question, Joe. If you have any more, again, any of you guys have any questions about how I do things or anything in that general area, leave them in the comment section below. Because it's easier for me to talk about things that you guys want to hear than just having me ramble on, maybe about stuff you guys don't care. But on my painting desk, just again, like I haven't been doing a whole bunch of painting lately because of just family life. It's starting to get nicer out, so I want to be outside. So, with summer around the corner, my painting kind of slows down. I'm finishing up my Patriarch. I'm not going to show you the model because I'm farther along than my videos, so stay tuned for some more of those painting the Patriarch videos. But again, just with nice weather and everything like that, I'd rather be outside than inside painting. And then at nighttime is usually the time I spend with my family. So not a whole bunch on my painting desk right now, except for what I want to be putting in videos. Anyways, guys, that's it for this week. Again, if you have any comments or questions or just topics you want to hear me rant or ramble about, leave them in the comment section below. If you guys haven't already, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date. I'm hoping, really hoping to get within the next week or so an X-Wing battle report filmed for you guys, and some more Malifaux. Death Watch, like I said, that campaign's kind of been put on a hold. I have to talk to some of my players, see what we want to do, whether we want to do it or not. If not, then I'll probably be doing just a kill team narrative. So either way, I'll let you guys know, so stay tuned for that. So that's pretty much about it, guys. So as always, there's going to be a link to my Facebook and Patreon account in the video description below. So if you guys want to show me some comments or feedback on Facebook instead of on YouTube, you can do it that way. And Patreon set up for if you guys want to shoot some support that way. I don't care. It's up to you guys. So I want to thank you guys for supporting the channel by watching these videos and giving them likes. And, we'll be back next week for another Tuesday talk. And just to give you guys a heads up, I'll probably not be doing Tuesday talks in the month of August. I might be, I'm not too sure. Like, I'm going away for 2 weeks in August, so I could film some, but if you guys leave comments, then I can't really answer them while I'm gone. So probably August, I'm not going to be doing Tuesday talks. So the Tuesday time slot, if everything goes according to plan, I'll fill those up with either bat reps or painting tutorials, terrain tutorials, things like that. So I'll probably try and film a bunch of stuff before I leave so that there's still something on Tuesday for you guys. Just you won't be able to see my face. If that's a bad thing or a good thing, I don't know. Anyways, but so I'll let you guys know what I have planned for that. So again, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hit that subscribe button. Share the video if you want. And just thanks for your support again, guys. And have yourselves a great day.